Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Pramanande Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamritham, Ādi3, text 80 and 81, chapter entitled The External Reasons for Lord Chaitanya's Appearance. Bhagavata Sandarbha Granthare Mangalacharane E Sloka Jiva Gosane Karya Chena Vyakyane. The translation here. In the auspicious introductions to the Bhagavata Sandarbha, Sri Jiva Goswami has given the following verse and explanation. Text 81. Anta Krishna Bahir Gauram Darsitangadi Vaibhavam Karao Sankirtanya Smat Krishna Chaitanyam Asritam Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darsitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadya Samat Krishna Chaitanyam Asritam.
Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtana Jaisma Krishna Chaitanya Masitaha
Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadya Isma Krishna Chaitanya Mashrita Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanam Isma Krishna Chaitanya Astrita
Mataji.
Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalo Sankirtanada Isma Krishna Chaitanyam Ashritaha
Anta Krishna Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalo Sankirtanadya Shma Krishna Chaitanya Ashritaha
Anta Krishna Bahir Gauram Darsitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirta Adya Isma Krishna Chaitanya Masrita
Anta internally, Krishnam, Lord Krishna, Bahi externally, Gauram, fair color, Darsita, displayed, Anga, limbs, Ādi, beginning with, Vaibhavam, expansions, Kalau, in the age of Kali, Sankirtana Hadye, by congregational chanting, etc. Sma, certainly, Krishna Chaitanyam, unto Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Asrita, shelter, Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I take shelter of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a fair complexion but is inwardly Krishna himself. In this age of Kali, it displays his expansions, his angas and upahangas by performing congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Purport: Sri Jiva Goswami has placed the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam quoted in text 52, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam, as the auspicious introduction to his book Bhagavata Sandarbha or Sat Sandarbha. He has composed this text 81, which is in effect an explanation of the Bhagavatam verse as the second verse of the same work. The verse from Srimad Bhagavatam was enunciated by Karabhajana, one of the 9 great sages, and it is elaborately explained by the Sarva Samvadhini Jiva Goswami's commentary on his own Sat Sandarbha. Anta Krishna refers to one who is always thinking of Krishna. This attitude is a predominant feature of Srimati Radharani. Even though many devotees always think of Krishna, none can surpass the gopis, among whom Radharani is the leader in thinking of Krishna. Radharani's Krishna consciousness surpasses that of all other devotees. Lord Chaitanya accepted the position of Srimati Radharani to understand Krishna. Therefore, he was always thinking of Krishna in the same way as Radharani. By thinking of Lord Krishna, he always overlapped Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who was outwardly very fair, with a complexion like molten gold, simultaneously manifested his eternal associates, opulences, expansions and incarnations. He preached the process of chanting Hare Krishna, and those who are under his lotus feet are glorious. Om Magyanatimirandasya Jnananjano Salakaya Chaksoranmalitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Supadantikam. Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidhantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Sham. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasindubhya evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtano Dhyayasma Krishna Chaitanyam Asritam I take shelter of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a fair complexion but is inwardly Krishna himself. In this age of Kali, it displays his expansions, his angas and upahangas by performing congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So here we are sitting and hearing the wonderful narration of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Prabhupada explains in the purport that whoever becomes the devotee of Krishna, they become very glorious. So we should recognize all credit of ourselves being a devotee should be given to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He sacrificed his own life and tirelessly he has traveled around the world to make sure that every individual in this world, they get the opportunity to be connected in this movement and ISKCON, and they can be given an opportunity to hear and to chant the holy name of the Lord. Without His mercy, almost all of us, we may not be around in the practice of Krishna consciousness. When Prabhupada was in America, one of the devotees inquired from Prabhupada. He quoted the verse from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 37, where Arjuna inquired from Lord Krishna, Ādi3.80-81 Yoga chalitam manasa aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Kachino bhaya vibarasya chinnam brahmeva nasyate apratishta mahabhavo vimuda brahmanopati. In the verse 6, chapter 6, text 37 and 38, Arjuna inquired from Krishna, what happens to those who are unsuccessful yogi? Are they lost both materially and spiritually, just like the clouds are disappeared at one time? And to that Krishna answered, in the chapter 6, text 40-41, Pata naiveya namutra Patra naiveya namutra vinasa sasya vidyate. Krishna explains that those who have executed auspicious activities in their life, there is no loss for them either in this world or in the spiritual world. Prapya punya krita lokam Usidve saswate sama suchinam srimatange yoga prasto bijayate. Krishna says that those who are unsuccessful in this life, next life, they'll be taking a birth in a devotee family, or they'll be born in an aristocratic family where they will utilize the wealth for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tatra tambudi samyogam labate purvadehikam yatati cha tatho bhuya samsiddhim kurunandana. Krishna says, by taking birth in a devotee family, by engaging their wealth in the service of the Lord, they will revive their Krishna consciousness in whichever way they have left in their previous life. So the questions by the devotees to His Divine Grace Prabhupada is that now according to Krishna, the unsuccessful yogi will be born next life in a devotee family or wealthy family. But some of us, we are not born in a devotee family and we are also not born in a wealthy family. How we have got this opportunity to become a devotee of the Lord? Prabhupada said, I have created that opportunity for you. So in this way, if we look into our own background of our life, most of us, we are not coming from a devotee family, we are not coming from a wealthy family. By the mercy of His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we got this great opportunity to be connected into the most simplest process of bhakti in the world. Practically, those who are not connected with His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada book, they will find it spiritual journey is very, very difficult. It's not easy journey. But Prabhupada, being a pure devotee of the Lord, being the Sakti Vesh Avatar Kali Kalera Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtan, Krishna Sakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan, without empowerment by Krishna, without the Sakti of Krishna, nobody can spread the holy name of the Lord all over the world. But Prabhupada have given this great opportunity in our life. So this is the greatest contribution of His divine grace into the life of the entire human society in the world. Today, we are sitting in the Radhadesh here. Is another holy place to be seen. According to the Shastra, there are 5 kinds of Goloka. Vrindavan is there, the spiritual kingdom. One is called Goloka Vrindavan, the eternal abode of the Supreme Lord. Another one is called Bhauma Vrindavan, where 5,000 years ago Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, where it was beyond the time factors. And after 5,000 years, the present Vrindavan is known as the Dristinya Vrindavan, where it doesn't look the same as 5,000 years ago. It may appear to be, dirty, and we may see that there are residents of that Vrindavan may not be much interested in Krishna consciousness. And there's another kind of Vrindavan is called Riddhi Vrindavan. Within the heart of a human being, living entity, there is also Vrindavan is there, Radha and Krishna are there, and there are beautiful pastimes are going on. And the 5th is called Gupta Vrindavan, a pure devotees like Prabhupada who carries Vrindavan in their heart all the time. They are able to create Vrindavan all over the world. So in this way, Prabhupada have created 108 temples around the world. All are to be known as the Gupta Vrindavan. There is no as good as the Vrindavan of India, Mathura. In this way, the Lord appeared, in 5 different ways in His pastime. One is appeared in His own abode in Goloka Vrindavan, is known as Padam. The second is that called Vyugam, for the creation purpose. The Lord has descended, appeared in the Vaikuntha planet. It is called Vyugam. The third is that to bring the message for the benefit of the entire human society, become a Vibhavam, so many different expansions to this world. And the 4th is called Antaryami. The Lord is seated into the heart of every living being to assist them. And the 5th is called Archa Vigraha. The Lord also appeared in the deity form. Because the Lord is in the spiritual Padam, it's not easy to meet Him, it's not easy to reside with Him. That needs a lot of bhakti. So for that reason, the Lord become very kind. He appear into in the Vyuga, in the Vaikuntha planet, to create the material world for the purpose of the living entities to revive their Krishna consciousness. And that also not very easy unless we go to Vaikuntha, otherwise we cannot meet Him. And the Lord appeared as a Vibhavam, as an expansion. When the Lord appeared, many years ago, we were not there to witness that, expansion of the Lord. And for that reason, to be, for them giving mercy to all living beings, the Lord appeared in the Archa Vigraha, so that people can come to the temple and try to connect themselves in Krishna consciousness through the worship of the Lord in the Archa Vigraha. But even people find it very difficult, that it's become very difficult for the people in Kali Yuga. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 20, that Sutta Goswami explains, Prayena Paisa Sabhya Kalau Asmin Yugejana Manda Sumanda Madayo Manda Bhagya Upadharita. Saunaka Rishi asked Sutta Goswami that in Kali Yuga practically people will become very lazy. Their duration of lifespan will be reduced. There will be a great argument and fight among the living beings, and they become lazy, they become very disturbed in their mind. They're easily diverted to a wrong path of life, and even though they may have everything in their life, they are very disturbed in their mind, and ultimately in Kali Yuga people become very, very unlucky. The process to become free from all kinds of trouble and difficulties of life is to simply to repeat, chant the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a repetition of the 16 words, the most easiest things to do in their life. You don't need to take out any money from your pocket. You don't need to go try to get a higher education to repeat these words. They're very easy to perform, but Habhagya means Kali Yuga people become very unlucky. Their greatest problem is then Kali Yuga, and then the simplest process. The solution is there to finish off all your greatest problem of life. But unfortunately, people become very unfortunate that they are not able to take up Krishna consciousness. And if anybody who have studied the Vedas, they know it's not easy to understand the path of the teaching of the Vedas. It's very, very complicating, it needs the greatest intelligence to do this thing. And just like, when Vyasadeva, when he saw at the end of Dwapara Yuga, he could foresee that Kali Yuga is going to come soon. And he could foresee that people will not have that kind of intelligence to understand that one Veda. So he divided the Veda into 4. He divided that one Veda which has been spoken 155 trillion, 22 billion years ago. There was the creation of Lord Brahma. When the Lord created Lord Brahma, then he imparted the knowledge, Janmadi Asyata, Noyat Itaratao, Chardao, Abhigya Swarat, Tene Brahma Hridaya Ādi3.80. Within the heart of Brahmaji, Krishna has imparted the knowledge of Veda. That was 155 trillion, 22 billion years ago. So how people are going to understand this subject matter in Kali Yuga? So for that reason, Vyasadeva, he divided that one Veda into 4, into Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Again, he realized that it's not easy for people to understand even these 4 Vedas. So he divided further. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad. Then he saw that, still quite difficult for people to understand the subject matter in Kali Yuga. Then he created the Veda Anga, 6 limbs of the Veda. There is Kalpa, Siksha, Vyakarana, Nirukti, Chanda and Jyotisha. Then he created the Upaveda. There is, Ayurveda. There is Gandharva Veda. There is, Shilpa Veda and Dhanur Veda. Then he noticed that, people are with the different modes of nature. There are people in the mode of goodness. There are people in the mode of passionate. There are people in the mode of ignorance. So he thought, better he divide further into 18 Puranas. 6 Puranas for the people in the mode of goodness, 6 Puranas for the people in the mode of passionate, 6 Puranas for the people in the mode of ignorance. The 6 Puranas in the mode of goodness are the Vishnu Purana, Varaha Purana, Garuda Purana, Narada Purana, and Padma Purana and Bhagavatam Purana. The Vishnu Purana contains 23,000 verses. The Varaha Purana contains 24,000 verses. The Garuda Purana contains 19,000 verses. The Narada Purana contains 25,000 verses. The Padma Purana contains 55,000 verses. Bhagavata Purana contains 80,000 verses. That is for those who are in the mode of goodness. Those who are in the mode of passionate, he has given Brahma Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Markandeya Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Vamana Purana. The Brahma Purana contains 10,000 verses. Brahma Vaivarta Purana contains 18,000 verses. Brahmanda Purana contains 12,000 verses. Markandeya Purana contains 9,000 verses. Bhavishya Purana contains 15,400 verses. And the Vamana Purana contains 10,000 verses. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, he has created Linga Purana, Skanda Purana, Siva Purana, Agni Purana, Matsya Purana and Kurma Purana. The Linga Purana contains 11,000 verses. Skanda Purana contains 81,100 verses. Shiva Purana contains 24,000 verses. And the Agni Purana contains 14,500 verses. Matsya Purana contains 14,000 verses. And the Kurma Purana contains 17,000 verses. How we are able to go into understand all those things? So there is a reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to come. The Sastra says, Trayo Veda Satangani Chandamsi Vividasura Sarva Astak Saransasam Chadmatmani Chanmayam Sarva Vedanta Sararva Samsarana Sarva Vedanta. All the input, all the essence of the Vedas are there in the holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's only by the mercy of His divine grace, as Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, he could bring the message, very simple message. He said, I have not manufactured anything here. I am simply trying to carry out the order of my spiritual master. That's the only credit that Prabhupada has taken, that without any manipulation, without any selfish interest, what is been brought by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, simplified version of the Vedas. Very, very importantly, we have to understand, we are not a superhero here. We have to become very proud and we should become very arrogant, thinking that we are very well educated, we are very advanced in Krishna consciousness, we are the senior member of the organization. It's not anything our own credit, unless, before Prabhupada, many Swamiji went around the world. Still today, many are going. Still people have no conclusion about what to do on the spiritual journey. Prabhupada made it very, very simple and easy for us. Prabhupada says, don't simply say Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. He says, speak as I have what I have spoken and do as what I have done. All success will be there. So the only thing is that we have to always remember that our path of Krishna consciousness are by the great mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And let me repeat what Prabhupada have said. Let me do what Prabhupada have done. Surely there will be success even in my own spiritual life. Today we are reading here about the Satsandarbha here, where Satsandarbha means there are 6 parts of the philosophy is there, given by Jiva Goswami. That is called Tattva Sandarbha is 1, Bhagavata Sandarbha is 2, Paramatma Sandarbha is 3, Krishna Sandarbha is 4, Bhakti Sandarbha is 5, and the Priti Sandarbha is the 6. It gives a very detailed information how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought the prem, the love of Krishna to the world. Here Prabhupada quoting from the Srimad Bhagavatam about this sloka that is there in the Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 32. Krishna Varnam Tuisa Krishna Sango Pangasra Parstadam Yagye Sankirtana Prayer Yajante Sumedasa. That, those who are, intelligent people in Kali Yuga, they will take part in the Sankirtan movement. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna himself. 5,000 years ago, Narada Muni went to see the Lord in his abode. And when Narada Muni went there and Krishna was contemplating in his mind, because Rukmini Devi once told Krishna that, you think you understand everything, but you don't understand one thing. She had said this thing to Krishna in Dwaraka, and Krishna was contemplating, Vedeham samititani vartitani. He said, I know everything. I've said that I know the past, present and future. But how come Rukmini says that I don't know one thing? What is that one thing? What is that one thing? He was contemplating. At that time, Narada Muni came to see the Lord. Narada Muni practically was very sad to see the situation of the world after the departure of Lord Krishna. And Narada Muni went there, then Narada Muni told Krishna, Tataishanu dina dharma satyam saucham samadaya kalena balina rajan nanchati ayur balam smritin kaliyuga. My dear Lord, after your departure, people are having a very difficult time. Day by day, all the wonderful qualities of the living being are reduced. Their dharma is reduced, their truthfulness is reduced, their kindness is reduced. Everything is reduced day by day by day by day, so you have to come back again. That was the humble request by Narada Muni. And that moment the Lord raised both his hands. There is in the Adi Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 3, text 15 onward, the Lord raised both his hand and told Narada Muni, Sakale Jagate Mora Kare Vaidhi Bhakti Vrajabhava Paite Nahi Sakti Aishwarya Jnanate Sabha Nahi Merita. That is, the Lord have extolled Narada Muni that the whole world are trying to capture me through different kinds of rules and regulations. They are attracted to my opulences. But he says, nobody can come to my abode with, all this kind of way of connection. Only through the bhakti shown by the gopis of Vrindavan. That is why Jiva Goswami says, he said, there are 7 kinds of spears in my heart. Jiva Goswami says. He said, number 1 is that a king who has got all the facility in his life but is not eager to render service to Krishna is like a spear in the heart. He says the miser who doesn't want to give anything to Krishna is like a spear in the heart. A poet who can beautifully praise the Lord with his poetry skill, but if he is not doing that, he says he is like a spear in the heart. He says a person who accept Guru but they do not accept Krishna, they are like a spear in the heart. And a person who thinks that I've got all the good qualities in myself, but they are not eager for the service of Krishna, he says they are like a spear in the heart. And number 6, he says that a person who thinks that is very intelligent, but if he does not surrender to Krishna, he is like a spear in the heart. And 7th, he says that a person who has surrendered to Krishna, but they do not perform the bhakti performed by the gopis of Vrindavan, they also like a spear in my heart. So in this way, Krishna told Narada Muni, Yuga Dharma Pravatayano Nama Sankirtana. He says that in Yuga Dharma, in the Yuga, this Yuga, Kali Yuga, there is Dharma is only chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Apanana kaile dharma sikhaya ya. He says, if I do not come to teach them how to practice the Yuga Dharma, Eita, Siddhanta Gita, Bhagavata Gaya, if somebody wants to teach somebody, if even he himself not practicing what he is teaching, he said that will not work in the world. If you want Krishna consciousness to spread all over the world very nicely, that's why Prabhupada said purity is the force, book are the basis, preaching is the essence, utility is the principle. Without purity, it's not possible for Krishna consciousness to take to another level. For that reason, Prabhupada has created the organization He has created many temples so that we can come and hear and glorify the Lord in this way, make our life very successful and help other people around the world so that the whole entire human society can be happy and peaceful. So in this way here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming. Because now Narada Muni spoke to the Lord told him that, he told him that, in Kali Yuga I will appear in this world to spread the Yuga Dharma. Aham eva kochit brahmana sannyasam asramam asrita ari bhaktim griyayani kalau papam atam nara. He told Narada Muni that I will be taking birth in a Brahmana family. Then I will become a Grihastha, then later I will renounce the Grihastha life, I will be taking sannyas, then I will be spreading the holy name of the Lord. So now we are talking about, the internal reason, the external reason why Mahaprabhu has to come. That is there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 4, text 230, you will see that. That is the declaration. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisam Vanaiva Swadhyayena Bhutad Mahima Kidrisam Vamadhiya Saukyam Chasyam Madanubhavata Kidrisa Vetilobat Tad Bhavadya Samajane Sachigarbhau Sandau Sindau Arindhu. That explains that there are three reasons why the Lord coming back to the world in the form of a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was, he was contemplating what Rukmani told him that you do not understand one thing. And he was thinking, what is that? She said, you are staying in Dwaraka, but you are always calling the name of Radha, Radha, Radha. So you do not know that one thing, how Radharani is enjoying the sweetness in your connection. She enjoys more than you. So now Krishna decided to appear again. Take the mood of Radharani. So Krishna comes here to see the glorious love of Radha for him and his own transcendental qualities that attracts Radharani and the sweetness Radharani enjoy in connection with Krishna. For that reason, internal reason, the Lord appeared. The external reason to Yuga Dharma, spread the holy name for the entire human society. And Radharani's subject matter is very important. When Krishna came to the world, he did not come alone, he brought the gopis. He brought Radharani, everybody, so that entire human society can learn from the devotees of Vrindavan, from the gopis, how they can be connected in Krishna consciousness, how they can attain the love of Krishna without any difficulties. Today, world, you go and talk to anybody, why not you chant Hare Krishna? They said, I got so much of commitment in my life, I'm married, I got children, I got work, I got this and that. Practically, people say, I have no time for it. But the gopis of Vrindavan, Radharani, they also had a family. They also got a great commitment to carry out on the day-to-day basis of their life. With all commitment, they are able to think of Krishna all the time. The message from Krishna from the, if you read chapter 8, text 7, Tasmat sarvesu kalesu mamanusmaran Yuddhacha mayarpita manabuddhir mameva syasi asamsayam. Arjuna, always you think with your mind and intelligence and carry out your duty. Surely you will come back to me. Abhyasa yoga yuktena cetasa nanya ghamina paramam purusam divyam yati patanu chintayam. In the chapter 8, text 8, Krishna told Arjuna that it is very easy to attain his love, to develop his love. Abhyasa, by constant practice of Krishna consciousness, Nanya Gamina, without any deviation, without any manufacturing into anything in our practice, simply by trying to follow the Guru and Krishna. Yasya devi parabhaktir yada devi tadavguru tasyaita kadirta irta prakasante mahatmanaha. Those who are fully committed into Krishna consciousness with the great faith, they follow the guidelines given by their spiritual master. Very easy, they'll be able to understand the whole subject matter of Krishna consciousness. So in this way here, the gopis, they were very diligently, they are doing every other commitment in their life. They got children, they got husband, they got work, they got mother-in-law, they got father-in-law. There's so many things are going on around them. Jatila one side trying to give some problem to Radharani. Kutila one side, trying to manipulate and give some sort of trouble. But despite with all those things, even Radharani told Krishna one time, there are all the ladies are going to Vrindavan, nobody talking about them. When I go, they're talking about me. Oh, Radharani coming. Why she's coming? Because Krishna, she's going to look for Krishna. She told him, because of you, I got a lot of bad name. But still, I don't care what people talk about me. I just want you, that's all. So in this way, the gopis, so there is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, he says that, Raga Meka Bhakti Ramukya Brajavasi Jane Tara Madhya Anugara Bhakti Re Mukhya. He said that among the devotees, he said those who follow the Raganuga Bhakti, the devotees of Vrindavan, he said they are the best. And he says that Bhaya Antara Yae Dvete Sadhana Bhaya Sadhaka Dehi Karaye Sravana Kirtana Mano Nija. Their mind always absorbed in Krishna. Mahaprabhu says that, Bhaya, externally they look like an ordinary housewife. Externally they look like ordinary human being, but internally they always are conscious of Krishna. He said this is how a devotee, the mind should become conscious of Krishna. It's not we are sitting in the association of a devotees. We are sitting in the temple, but the mind is thinking something, out there. The mind is very powerful. That is why Krishna said, Man mana abhamat bhakto, that always think of me with your mind and become devotee. Those days, I'm coming from a village in Malaysia. We lived in a village environment those days. We are a very poor family. We, in the plantation side. And when anybody dies in the village, my mother will go and sit and cry. The practice of the Indians, when somebody dies, they go and sit and cry. And my mother will go every, anybody dies in the village, she will go and sit and cry. So one of my friends told me, no, I cannot believe your mother crying everywhere. He said, everybody, the whole village is your relative or what? Very shy, he said like that. So I went and told my mother, why you are, going crying everywhere? My friends, I know, all are laughing at me. All these people are not our relative. Why you sit and cry? My mother said, don't speak like that. She said, you go and see there. Somebody dies, you go and see. Everybody sitting and crying. If I don't cry, what people will talk about me? Sometimes ritually we do a lot of things, There was a lady who was sitting and hearing, Janmashtami lecture by one of the Swamiji. And Swamiji, old man with a long beard and sitting and talking very nicely about Krishna Katha. And this lady is sitting in the front row and she looking at the Swamiji crying and crying and crying. From the very beginning till the end of the lecture, she is the only person crying and crying and crying. So then the Swamiji felt very bad about himself because he'd been speaking Krishna Katha long time, but he is not even crying on anything. But here the old lady, from the very beginning till the end, she's crying and crying. So after the talk, he went and talked to the old lady. She said, Mother, you're very great. I've been talking Krishna Katha, but not even little bit of tears have come. But look at you, you're crying from the beginning till the end. So that is how you love Krishna. She said, no, Swamiji, very sorry, I'm not, crying because of hearing your katha. I'm crying by looking at you, she said like that. So he said, why, what is the problem, what's wrong with me? She said, no, about your beard, And he said, what about my beard? 6 months ago, I've been having a goat in my house. The goat has got the same beard like you. But the goat is missing for some times. So looking at your beard, I feel separation from my goat. That is why Krishna says, Manmana Bhavat Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namas Guru Mam Eva Syasit Satyam Te Pratijano Priyosime. So in this way, here Prabhupada says that Radharani, the gopi, always thinking about Krishna. Why Krishna keeps Radharani beside him? She is always thinking about Krishna. And beautifully, the Bhagavatam explains all those things, That he says, Ananta se Radhikara Panchisa Pradhana Ek Krishna Revasa se Bhagavan. That Radharani captured Krishna with the 25 transcendental qualities. Number 1 is Madhura, Navavaya, Chala Apanga, Ujjvala Smita, Charu Saubhagya, Adya Rekha, Gandha Mahanita Manada, Sangeeta Prasara Habigya, Ramya Vak, Narma Pandita, Vinita, Karna Purna, Vidagda, Patavahanvita, Lajjasila, Sumaryade, Dhairya, Gambhirya, Suvilasa, Mahabhava, Parama Utkarishni, Tarishni Prema, Jagat Sriniyasa, Guru Sneha, Saki Pranita Vasa, Krishna Priya Avali Mukya, and the 25th is called Asrava Kesava. Prabhupada says Asrava Kesava, with these qualities, Radharani took Krishna and put her in the pocket. Now Krishna cannot run away. And number 1 is that Madhura, sweetness, the way Radharani look at Krishna, the way she smiled, the way she walked, the way she dressed, everything about Radharani, only for the pleasure of Krishna. He said, all sweetness and sweetness and sweetness. That one quality explained. Madhura Navavaya, she, always freshly youthful. Chala Hapanga, that I, become very restless. She always wanted to see Krishna. Beautiful in the Gopi Gita that I know, Chalasiyad Vidat, Charayan Paso, Nalinam Sundaram, Nadate Padam, beautifully, Atatiyat Bhavam. Even a moment, eye blinking, then they condemn Lord Brahma. You don't know how to make the creation. So Chala Panga, one of the transcendental quality Radharani is that she wanted to see Krishna 24 hours without blinking. And this one Madhura Navavaya Chala Panga Ujjvala Smita. She got a very bright smile. Ujjvala Smita. Charu Saubhagya Adya Rekha. She got auspicious lines are running on the body. Gandha Hanmadita Mano. There are beautiful fragrance appear on the body for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. And then, Sangeeta Prasara Abhigya, the 7th quality of Radharani, she sings very beautifully for the pleasure of Krishna. And Ramya Vak, she's a very good speaker. And Narma Pandita, she make a great jokes for the pleasure of Krishna. Vinita, she's very humble. Karna Purna, full of mercy. Vidagda, she's very cunning. Why? Because Krishna is very cunning. Krishna goes like this, like that. No, Krishna also have to move like that. Prabhupada says just straight, it's just like the policeman. He wants to catch a thief, that thief is entering into the one-way street. But the policeman has to catch him, so he also has to break the law. So Krishna going this way and that way in his dealing, and Radha going this way, that way. Patava Hanvita, they're very expertly, they're performing their duty of their life. Lajjasila, she is very shy. Maryada, that she is very respectful for everybody. Sumaryada, and Patava Hanvita, Lajjasila, Sumaryada, Dhairya, she is very, brave. Gambhira, she is very grave. And Suvilasha, she is very playful also. And after that it comes Mahabhava. She contains, the greatness of spiritual ecstasy. She has got it. And Parama Utkarishni, Tarishni Prema. She got the highest excellence. And Jagat Sriniyasa, she, respect. She is very submissive. And Guru Sneha, she is very respectful to the elders. Sakhi Pranita Vata, she is, controlled, by the love of the other gopis. And Krishna Priya Avili Mukhya, she is the leader of all the gopis. In Asrava Kesava, she controlled Krishna and put him in a pocket so that Krishna cannot run away. Premera Paramasao Mahabhava Jani, Mahabhava Rupa Radha Thakurani. There she has attained the greatest Mahabhav, that Krishna is obliged to keep Radharani with him. So in this way that Prabhupada writes, if anybody wants to become a good devotee, nobody can become equal or greater than Radha and the gopis of Vrindavan, but they become the exemplary for us. Somewhere or other we can be a devotees like Vrindavan, where we are always cautious of Krishna in our life. In this way, it is the mercy of Advaita Acharya. He brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He saw the entire world are not interested in bhakti. He said, Kehe papa, kehe punya, kare visaya bhoga. In the Adi Leela, chapter 3, text 97, Advaita Acharya, he called Krishna. People are not interested into bhakti. They are only interested either piety or sinful activity. Then he was thinking how to bring the Lord here. Jalaja. So look, he said, Jalamatra nistrena jalasya chulukena vavikramantam swamatman. He said he knows that easy way to bring Krishna is the affection towards the devotees. So he bring a cup of water, put the tulasi inside. Krishna re avahana karo. He said unkarahaya. He called Krishna loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shimmere Chaitanya Navadvipa Avatara, Shimmagriva, Shimma Urva, Shimmera, Unkara. In the similar way, Shimmera means like lion, Unkara means, roaring like a lion. Lion Mahaprabhu is coming with the same method. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So in this way, the practice of Krishna consciousness becomes very simple for everybody to follow. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking with the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, Samsara Sarpadrishti Murchitanam Kalauge Ausadim Bhagavan Namo Tasmad Vaishnava Sevanam. The Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said there are 64 angas of bhakti. He said out of that 2 becomes the most important for everybody in the world. He said those who are bitten by the snake of Maya and fall unconscious in the ground, only way to revive their consciousness, he said that they should do 2 things. One is that always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The second is that Tasmad Vaishnava Sevanam, always remain in the association of Vaishnava and serve them. Being a servant of Vaishnava and chanting the holy name, surely will become the best devotees. At least in Belgium you can become very best devotee. In Vrindavan there are many better devotees there, but at least in Belgium you become a best devotee. It helps the entire Belgium to be happy in their life. People at the moment, they cannot become happy and peaceful because they are very much corrupted with everything of their life. They want the world to be peaceful, but they don't understand that peace begins from their own home. Not possible, to make, the world peace when you are not, attempting to become peaceful. Where whatever they are thinking, their selfish way, they are thinking about their own, sense gratification in the world. When things are not going right for their sense gratification, they blame everybody else in the world. And you got all the blind, leaders. Then Prahlad Maharaj says in the Canto 7, chapter 5, text 31, he said, Nato evido swatam kadim Vishnu. He said, they're blind leaders. They don't even know the goal of life is Vishnu. All these leaders fighting in Russia, fighting in Ukraine, fighting in the Middle East, fighting everywhere they are fighting because they do not know the real goal of life is not about material world. Prabhupada says the devotee never compete anything in the world, devotee never fight, never argue, because there is there is nothing they need in the material world. Their goal is Vaikuntha. So why they want to fight for anything here? Because they need Vaikuntha. They only want Vaikuntha. They fight here, what they get here. They don't get Vaikuntha when they fight here. They should fight for the Vaikuntha. The Gopis, Vrindavan, every devotee, they're competing, try to each other, who can do the best for Krishna. But the politicians, they do not know because they are so much corrupted. Very long ago in Malaysia, they had a very big problem that, that they've been coming out with the, what CDs that, when somebody comes out with the real recording and CD, somebody makes another, what do you call that CD? Pirate CD, yeah. So in Malaysia, they had a big problem that somebody doing all these pirate CDs became a big problem, and the policemen been sent all over Malaysia for 1 year. And they've been 1 year searching around who this thief, the culprit is coming out with this pirate CD. For 1 year, the policemen in Malaysia are not able to catch anybody. For 1 year. Then, one man from Germany, he brought, 2 dogs, a sniffing dog. And the dog, within 1 month, the dog catch everybody. What the policeman cannot do, the dog has done very easily within 1 month. So after the work done, he was in the airport, he was not leaving, going back to Germany with his dog. The reporter went and talked to him. The reporter says, all the intelligent policemen in Malaysia were not able to catch the thief for 1 year. But how your 2 dogs are able to do? And he said, very simple, my dogs never take bribe. As long as you're contaminated. We are talking about pollution in the world, We are talking about 10, problem in the world coming up, the United Nations declared, climate change is going to be the greatest problem. 45% of the people in the world going to be affected there. The poverty is going to be a big problem. The pollution of water, pollution of food, pollution of, not having a good, a quality of education. They said, all this pollution they are talking about, they don't understand the pollution has begun from their heart. That's why Mahaprabhu said, Cheto Darpanam Arjunam, first you cleanse your heart and everything else will go very well. So in this way, devotees are the only hope. And Prabhupada movement is the only hope to revive everything in the material world so that, our family of Krishna consciousness, the entire world can be having peace and happiness, and they're able to achieve the goal of life simply by connecting themselves in Krishna consciousness. So when Prabhupada registered ISKCON movement, he has given 7 purposes, so always we should focus. Prabhupada has got a mission on this movement, so we don't need to manufacture anything new. And the first mission, Prabhupada, says the very reason is creating this organization. He said that, to propagate the teaching of Krishna. And he said to teach the people the technique of spiritual life so that there can be a check and balance in the imbalance. He said there are imbalance in the value of the life of the people. Why there are so many problems? Because people are talking and talking and talking, but everything is minus value. There's no value what they're talking. There's no code of any conduct they're following. So in this way, Prabhupada says that, to bring in the peace and unity in the world, there should be a proper balance on the values of life. So Krishna consciousness is, can, fulfill that, what is shortage in the world. And the simple process is that, Prabhupada says, sing, dance and take prasad. Sometimes we are having some difficulty because we wanted to preach to the people around the world. That's a difficulty to educate somebody. But personally, we don't have any problem for us. Personally, if you ask me, Maharaj, you got any problem? I have to think for many hours to see whether I got any problem. I personally, I don't have any problem. When my mother was leaving the body, I went to see my mother. My mother said, I had 6 children, out of 6, she said, you are the best son. My mother had a very difficult time with my father. But, they stayed together. As Hindu families, a bit different. My mother stayed with my father. Because my father sometimes, he irritates my mother, he creates some problem to fight, and sometimes he raises his hand to beat my mother. So my mother says, I'm having so much problem with your father, what I should do? Now she said, you are devotee, tell me what to do. I said, very easy, you take the chanting bit. Chant Hare Krishna, one hand you keep the Bhagavad Gita. Father won't disturb you. And my father also coming from Hindu family, Hindu background, some culture that, Bhagavad Gita is very, divine book. The bits, also very divine. So my mother was sitting chanting Hare Krishna, and I told my mother, you are tired chanting? He said, you look at the Bhagavad Gita, read the Bhagavad Gita. And my mother one hand chanting bit, another one Bhagavad Gita. So my father will come back to try to create some conversation with my mother, and that's how the conversation become bitter, and that will be some argument, and my father can raise the hand to go after my mother. So now my mother got chanting Hare Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. My father comes around to start the communication, and my mother is busy chanting or reading Bhagavad Gita. My father wait to see when my mother finish, he wants to start the communication. But my mother, either these two, she sleeps also with Bhagavad Gita. And my father got very angry with me. One day I visited, my family, and father said, you want to become devotee, that's your problem, why you make my wife devotee? She's not even talking to me. My mother said, this is the best thing you have done in my life. Keep your father away from me. And my mother was leaving the body. I went there, my mother said, by then my mother was initiated, And my mother told me, out of 6 children, she said, you are the best son. All other children, they're married, they got family. Whenever they give me a call, every time they talk about their problem. Only you, when you call, you say, Mummy, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. She said, you are the best. So the problem of the world can be easily solved if they chant Hare Krishna, read Prabhupada books. Prabhupada said 4 things he requested for everybody to do in the world. He said, number 1, take care of your health. Number 2, chant the holy name. Number 3, do some service for the Lord. And number 4, without fail, every day you read his books. In this way, your life becomes very sublime. You become very happy and peaceful. And you'll be very grateful for what Prabhupada has given in your life. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity and great hospitality here. May Radha Gopinath, may Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Gaur Nitai and all the devotees, may shower the mercies upon all the living beings in Belgium, so that at least one place is transformed. Hare Krishna. And I don't know whether you've got any time for questions. It's going to be 9 o'clock. So what we do?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the nice class. I remember you were saying that there are 6 kinds of thorns in, I think it was Sanatana Goswami's heart, was it?
7.
7 thorns. Okay, and the last one was, if I remember, it's one who does not practice spontaneous
the Bhakti
devotional
of
service.
Vrindavan.
Yeah. So I was wondering if we who follow the process of Vaidhi Bhakti, if we fall into that category, or if we don't, because we have an aim to eventually attain a spontaneous love for Krishna.
Yeah, see, the devotee should keep following Prabhupada instruction, whatever he has given us. And when you have a faith and trust in the process given by Prabhupada, slowly you'll be uplifted, you'll come to the stage of Raganuga Bhakti. You have to be in the process all the time. Very important, the devotee always show also the Vaidhi Bhakti so that others can follow. That means this, like the gopis in Vrindavan, they are not walking around with the chanting bag, because they are always conscious of Krishna. We need a chanting bag so that we can see whether you are chanting or not chanting. Sometimes we ask, hey, where's your chanting bag? So if nobody carries the Vaidhi Bhakti, then they will say, oh, I'm always conscious of Krishna, I don't need to worry about this thing. So Prabhupada, himself being a pure devotee, he did not require any chanting bag. So he is always conscious of Krishna. But for people to follow, he has introduced everything about devotee's life is to educate others. Otherwise, devotees have no business here. We wanted to love Krishna, we wanted to go back to Krishna. What is the best place to do these things? Is Vrindavan. But why we are sitting in Belgium? So that, our living here will benefit other people in Belgium. They can see, these another people, they're living this way, why they're living this way, and they can learn something from us. In the chapter 3, text 17, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, yes, tvatmaratari vasya. He says that, a person who is on the path of self-realization, for them there is no duty to perform in this world. But then again at 3:19 he says, Tasmat asakta satsatam karyam karma samachara asakta acharam karma. Achara means, the exemplary. A devotee live, in this world, in this part of the world, to teach people that there is no requirement for you to give up your education. There is no requirement for you to give up your family, your job or anything. You just try to do everything without any attachment to it. What is attachment? When you claim it belongs to me, that's attachment. The moment you say belongs to Krishna, it's detachment. Very easy. You don't need to leave everything to go to forest to see what is detachment. Your consciousness when it's changed, So in this way that the Vaidhi Bhakti process is very important, so that others can be educated on this Krishna consciousness. And slowly the devotees, those who are already conscious of Krishna all the time, they are situated in the Raganuga Bhakti. That is the best way. So those who wanted to preach, sometimes they say the Uttamadhikari comes to the level of Madhyamadhikari so that he can preach to the world. Because the Uttamadhikari, they see everybody is a devotee except him. So how is going to preach? So he has to come down to the Madhyamadhikari so that he can preach to others in the world. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Maharaj, you said that the people in the world are fighting for this and for that.
Yeah.
But the devotees are not interested in anything of this world. So they are not fighting, but we see that all the holy scriptures, they start, like in the Bible, there's so much war, so much fighting. In the Quran, it starts also in Islam with war and fightings, and the Gita is also Mahabharata, war and fighting. So it looks a little bit like contradiction.
Yeah, they are fighting because they got interest of this world. A devotee not fighting because they have no interest in this world. They don't want anything in this world, but they wanted to fight.
But Krishna, he said, because Arjuna is a devotee, and Yudhishthira also, and Krishna said, actually, you should fight. Yeah. So
Prabhupada mentioned, in the Canto 1, Chapter 8, on the subject matter of Kundi Devi, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 46 in the purple, Prabhupada says that there is no requirement for the Pandavas to fight with the Kauravas. Duryodhana was already ruling everything very nicely. But Krishna is not able to see the injustice happen to his devotee. For that reason, because injustice, whatever you do, even rightly, but you have done it in an injustice way, that's not acceptable. So Krishna always emphasized when, the Pandavas, came back, from their exile, and there was a talk. Krishna wants to, make sure that, whatever belongs to them to be given back. And Bhima was talking, always, how to fight and fight and fight. And Krishna says, in all circumstances, say peace is the best. And a peace when is not allowed. The 4 ways Krishna gives, how to handle the situation of your life. He says, number 1 is that, conciliation, you reconcile with your enemy. Number 1, you got some problem with your wife. Don't simply write the divorce letter. You sit with them, reconcile what is the problem. He said, number 2, if the conciliation is not working, now you try to compromise. What is there, I can compromise with you. If that is not happening, he said, now you try to reduce the power of your enemy so that he cannot fight with you. It's not happening, the 4th only you go for a war. So Krishna practices the 4th thing. He went for the reconciliation, to talk to Duryodhana when he's not agreeing to give what belongs to them. Krishna compromises, he said, never mind, at least you give, 5 villages. He cannot, he said, even 1 village, according to your way, whichever village you think by, give it to them. He said, not even, the soil goes through the eye of a needle. Then Krishna wanted to reduce their, power. So Krishna tried to see if as long as, Saguni, Karna and all Aswada, all they are united, they become very powerful. So Krishna wants to break that unity so that they don't become very powerful. So you go and talk to Karna one thing, you go to Sakuni one thing, you go to Kundi talk one thing, you go to Aswatma, try to confuse them and try to split them. Even that doesn't work. Final path only Krishna said there is no other thing, but there has to be better. But Krishna made this arrangement so that the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita can be brought to the world. And where it can be brought for the betterment of everybody is in the battlefield, because in the battlefield there are one side enemy, one side friends. But the knowledge of Krishna consciousness is for everybody in the world. Whether you are friend, whether you are enemy, Krishna consciousness is important for both enemy and friend. For that reason, Krishna spoke in the battlefield. Otherwise, Krishna would have taken Arjuna to the private room and give him the message. But he decided to do it here because in the battlefield, things are very uncertain what would happen. So life is very uncertain what would happen in next moment. So you require in every situation that you follow the path of the injunction of the principle of dharma. Not because you are in difficulty, you break the law of the country. It's not like that. Even any situation, you try to follow the law of the country. So Krishna puts the devotees into different situations so that the world can learn from him. When Krishna wants to go and talk the message of peace to Pandavas, before Krishna went to see Duryodhana, Krishna asked Yudhishthira, I'm going to talk to Duryodhana. So what is your opinion? What do you want me to tell Duryodhana? And Yudhishthira says, whatever you like to talk, you talk to Duryodhana. But you come back with only one answer, there is no war, we don't want to fight. Krishna went to Bhima, he asked Bhima, what is your opinion? Bhima said that, whatever you want to talk to him, you talk to him, but come back with the answer, there must be war, you have to fight. Then he go to Arjuna, Arjuna, what do you think? Arjuna says, you speak what you like to speak, but my Gandiva bow is waiting to finish him off. There has to be a fight. Then he go to Nakula. Nakula, what do you think? Nakula says, Krishna, why you waste your time? Krishna says, what's the problem? No, because Duryodhana is not even listening to his own parents. How is he going to listen to you? So you'll be wasting your time with Duryodhana. Don't waste time. Now finally Krishna go to Sahadev. He asks Sahadev, what do you think? Sahadev says, why you waste my time? Krishna says, why is that? He said, Krishna, everything you know. It is all your plan. And you are, though like you do not know, you go and ask Yudhishthira, ask Karna, ask Bhima and Arjuna, though like you do not know what's happening here. And you know what I think? Sahadev said, you know what I think? You're just going to do what you think. You're not going to listen to anybody. That is what Arjuna asked in the chapter 11, text 31 in Bhagavad Gita. Agya yimeko bhavan ugra rupam, my dear Lord, why you have come here? What is your mission? Who are you? And Krishna says, Kalosmi loka saikra pravada lokan, I'm the time, come to finish them off. Tasmatom mudiste yasola baswa. He says that I already killed them. Look, you become my instrument. Dronam cha, Bhismam cha, all these people have gone, finished, ready. Krishna already done everything. That Krishna's arrangement, that people should learn the knowledge. And whether you are enemy or friend, the knowledge is very important for everybody. So Krishna's purpose is different. The Pandavas, they fight for, different, to establish the path of dharma. Like Krishna went to forest, Kamyaka forest. He went to see the Pandavas. They were exiled in the forest. Krishna was very angry with, the Duryodhana. He told Arjuna, I want to go back and kill, Duryodhana. And Arjuna pacified Krishna with some sort of his own pastime. And Krishna that moment told Arjuna that the world should understand that there's no difference between you and me, Arjuna. There's no difference between you and me. He says that, look, anybody glorifies you, they are glorifying me. Anybody insulting you, they are insulting me. There's no difference. You came to the forest to establish dharma. I come to the world to establish dharma. Our mission is the same. For that reason, between you and me, there is no difference. So the mission of the Pandavas is not about anything. Even after they gained the war, Yudhishthira don't want to accept the kingdom. Finally when Duryodhana was lying down, he was going to hide in the lake, and Yudhishthira called him to come out. And Duryodhana said, "You brothers are too many there, I don't want to come out." And Yudhishthira said, No, you come out, you choose any of us, you fight with us, and if you win, you take back the kingdom. And Krishna told Yudhishthira, why you are making all this problem again? Already he went to forest 13 years and came back. And you're telling him anybody you choose. What happened if you choose Nakula? What happened if you choose Sahadev? What happened if you choose you? And you lose and then you go back to the forest again. You're putting me into more trouble. So lucky, Bhima, he volunteered. I wanted to fight with you. So the whole Mahabharata is to establish the justice in the world. Beautifully Prabhupada writes, when Uttara was, carrying the Maharaj Parikshit in the womb, when, Aswatthama released the Brahmastra, and Krishna was telling to Arjuna, that, he has done a greater sin. He cannot, the ladies, women should be protected, the children should be protected, the elders should be protected, the messenger should be protected, an intoxicated person who, in the battlefield, he should be protected, a person who refused to fight, he should be protected, a person who already, raised their white flag for surrender, they should be protected. But Krishna said, look at Aswatthama, he has done a wrong thing, he has gone against the principle of dharma, he got to be killed. That's what Krishna told. But again, when they caught Aswatthama, Draupadi said, let him go, you have learned from his father and his mother, widow, without a husband. And if you kill this boy, then nobody to take care of the wife. And we should be grateful that we are benefited by their family. On the other side, Bhima says, no, you have to kill. So Arjuna go to Krishna. See, Pandava, always they go to Krishna for advice. Anything, they know that, final words must come from Krishna. So Krishna said, that is your intelligent Arjuna. You have to, take the advice of Draupadi not to kill, but you must also take the advice of Bhima, must kill. That's your problem. Like Prabhupada told, that, he said in the organization, all the women should get married, all men should remain brahmachari. So devotee asked, Prabhupada, how is it possible? Prabhupada said, that is your management. That's your problem. So like that. So they found, so Krishna was saying, Prabhupada said, Krishna is testing the Pandavas, whether they are using the principle of religion in every situation. So they used very nicely, they cut off the hair and the jewel from the head of Aswatthama. He'd been cursed for 3,000 to move around, invisible. So in this way that the devotees fight and the karmis fight is not the same. Sometimes we fight for prasadam, isn't it? So at least prasadam means the mercy of Krishna, so we are fighting for the mercy of Krishna. Sometimes we fight, devotees fight is not same because our fight is only within the circle of Krishna consciousness. So like that, and also material world, always there are going to be enemy and friend, always there are going to be, this kind of situation. But the devotee, how they should behave, that is properly been given by Prabhupada books. And importantly, when devotee asks Prabhupada, what happens if, the demon comes to fight with us? Prabhupada said, you should fight back with them. And he said, they got weapon. Prabhupada said, you got chanting bead, that's your weapon. You take out your chanting bead and chant Hare Krishna. That's it. So every situation we fight back in Krishna consciousness. But whatever the way, that Arjuna was there, Sanjaya told, in the second chapter was first one, Tam sada kripaya pistan. Asro purna kulek visidanta midamakya vacha. That out of compassion that Arjuna refused to fight in the battle. So Vaishnava are very compassionate. They don't unnecessarily waste their time on fighting and argument, this and that, unless there is only for the Krishna consciousness. To protect Krishna, to protect the devotees use their anger. Otherwise, they always keep the anger under their control. The anger is no good, if the anger controls you. But if you control the anger, that's very good. So in this way, devotees fight, devotees' way of living and everything very different. So till today, people of Belgium cannot understand the devotees. That is why they are not coming much here. Otherwise, they will start coming. So anyway, we are sitting in the Vaikuntha here and having a wonderful time. You have no problem of anything. Our only problem is that we are not able to think of Krishna all the time. Prabhupada said, one devotee came to Prabhupada, he says, no, Prabhupada, I don't have lusty desire. Prabhupada said, there must be something wrong with you. A reporter asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, have you got lusty desire? Prabhupada said, I got lusty desire, but I have no time for it. Keep yourself busy in Krishna consciousness. Everything will be nice. A devotee went and asked Prabhupada, how can I become a devotee? How I can become a good devotee? And Prabhupada says, if you know that today may be your last day living in the world, you become a good devotee. Let's say if doctor tells you that today by 11 o'clock night you will die. So what do you do? Are you going to open a new business? Are you going to look for marriage another woman? Are you going to thinking about producing child? Are you going to think about opening account, new account? What we will do? 11 o'clock we have to die. Bhagavad Dharma Prabhu. What do we do?
Sorry? I will die.
No, if we have to die tonight, 11 o'clock night, that is what the doctor says. What are we going to do? Are we going to create, fight with our wife and family? Are we going to, cheat somebody for money? All we are going to do is that how to close off all the business we have created. So we won't be thinking something, different. We'll be trying to close off everything so that we can leave the body and go. So Prabhupada said, if you know you're going to die today, you become a good devotee. The only problem is that you are not afraid of death. You are not thinking about, anytime you can die. For that, we are making a different plan. Why we are not, knowing that today I may die? Because you are lack of Krishna consciousness. If we wake up in the morning, we offer our obeisances. The moment we wake up, offer obeisances on the floor. To thank Krishna has given another day in our life. Because there are many people who slept and never woke up again. So yes, so why? Because we are conscious of Krishna. So he said, devotee, understand like Mristyu Sarva Harasham. Krishna says, I come as Yamaraj. So if you are conscious of Krishna all the time, you will understand that how to become a good devotee. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. May Prabhupada give us all the blessing to become a good devotee. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaura Pramanande.
His Holiness Bhakti Mukunda Swami ki Jai.
So maybe